So after what seems like it's been a very long arc, we finally reached the end of not only the battle against the devil, but the saga regarding the corrupted elves and all of the above with Licht, Patri, and every single thing that happened. This chapter was the little ribbon and bow to send this arc off in style, but it also leaves questions, and there's a lot of things to talk about, so let's just jump into that Black Clover greatness, baby!
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
So chapter, of course, starts off, they're escaping the shadow place, you know, last chapter they were going through the door, whatever, they were about to go through the door, so they still, I guess, escaping in the very beginning of the chapter, and we see that Charmy is back to her little old self, which I don't remember if we've seen her since she had that incredible transformation. I'm kind of a little down because honestly Charmy looked sick as hell when she kind of pulled off that maneuver or whatever, but it's a meme at the end of the day, and she's a comedic relief, so she'll probably be able to tap into that again, or who knows, maybe the next time she needs power she'll be even older, she'll be just a straight up, because she looked like she was like a maybe teen or something like that. Maybe she'll have an even further transformation where she'll be a grown woman, or even like a Genkai from Yu Yu Hakusho old lady, who knows. So there's possibilities with that, but hey, Charmy's back to her joking self, so there's that. And then of course outside, one of the things that I think with this chapter, Tabata just kind of was already like, yo, I want to wrap this up, because to be honest with you, we had so much going on outside, and I forgot that the elves were still going ham. The devil kind of distracted everything, because we're just thinking about like, okay, they got this big fight against the devil, but no, the elves were still going ham out there. So I think Tabata kind of, he was inspired again. I definitely felt like this was Pain, the end of the Pain arc with Nagato, kind of that type of scenario, but it was also just to wrap everything up without having to have ASTA go to each and every person that was an elf and hit them with his sword. Instead, they came up with the big grand old plan between Patri and Licht to kind of bring everyone's souls into one place and have ASTA do it. It seemed a little bit convenient, to be honest with you, like this combination magic between the two, but I guess they're strong enough so it kind of felt okay-ish, but it did feel like it was like, yo, let's just wrap this shit up already, because there's too many people. I don't feel like having ASTA hit 1 billion people with his damn sword, so let's just do it like this. And again, it did feel very Nagato inspired when, you know, at the end of the Pain arc, Nagato was like, I'm gonna revive everybody. Obviously different scenario, is basically getting rid of all the elves, so to speak, but it did feel a little bit like that. And for better or worse, I mean, at the very least, hey, we finally wrapped the arc up. To be honest with you, I don't want another chapter or two of ASTA just hitting every freaking elf with his sword. So the way they did it, it was a cool way to just finish this all off. And on a side note, I thought that was really cool that Voltos, even though he wasn't really who he said he was, Voltos still appreciated the person. Like, yo, you saved me, so I don't care the treachery and lie. And he was still like, yo, I'll help out and shit like that. So that's kind of neat to see that at the end of the day there was character development for even some of the smaller tier villains of all of this. And then of course, one by one, we see the elves slowly but surely are leaving, starting off with Patri. He basically gives himself up for William Vengeance to return. I'm curious how that's going to be handled now that William Vengeance is back, because are they going to consider what William Vengeance did in terms of being, you know, his body was, and it wasn't necessarily him per se, but he still kind of was aware of what was going on with Patri. Are they going to punish William Vengeance? Is he going to still be a captain? I want to say I could see him possibly stepping down, but I'm not 100% sure, because again, he even in this chapter said one of the reasons why he let it rock with, you know, Patri inside of his head and all of that stuff was because he's seen firsthand how evil people can be, how messed up people can be, because he had the scar on his forehead, all those burn marks or whatever. People ostracized him, they made him an outcast and all that stuff. So that was one of the reasons behind why he was like, okay, I'll support this guy and let him live his dream. But at the same time, that still could be considered treason. So I'm curious how the Clover Kingdom is going to handle William Vengeance moving forward. But again, we've seen Patri finally leave, and it was a night, honestly, it was a really well done wrap up. Like every relationship, almost every character that you felt like either this one needed to apologize to that one, or this one needed to have some final closure with that one. It felt like everything was just neatly wrapped up with almost next to no questions regarding the relationships with the elves and all of that stuff. And I mean, it's not completely the end for the elves per se, because we still got Raya and the other two that, because they had like artificial bodies, they're going to be around for a while. So I'm imagining, I don't know if they're going to stay in the Clover Kingdom. They're not going to go to the Diamond Kingdom, because after all of this, if any of these motherfuckers decide, oh yes, I'm going to be evil again, like, get out of here. Like, y'all were corrupted, y'all were tricked into this, understandable. But I don't want to see them at all be evil. But again, I'm curious curious how the Clover Kingdom is going to handle all this. Are they going to punish William Vengeance? Are they going to punish Raya and them? I think at the very least they should be banished. Raya and them shouldn't stay in the Clover Kingdom. And it was something very interesting because it kind of builds a little bit into the world of Black Clover. When Raya's talking with Licht and saying, Licht was like, oh, we'll see each other again. Raya said, as if we'll see each other again. So maybe in the Black Clover world, there is really no afterlife, or they don't get to be united in the afterlife, because he said it almost as if he was sure, like, we're not going to see each other again. And you know that because, they had to pass away before they were reborn and reincarnated into these bodies. So I guess it gives a little exposition and world building into the world of Black Clover and the afterlife, so to speak. I mean, if there's devils and demons, I'm imagining again it's going to possibly or potentially explore more of the afterlife. And then we even got a nice little wrap up as well with Charla, or Carla, however you pronounce her, with Yami. The fact that she was able to admit that, it was kind of fun hanging with you. So you saw that there was character development there. If she was actually Charlotte, she probably would have stayed there and gotten with Yami, because Yami liked her, and vice versa. Kind of shaded a little Charlotte at the end, like, this wretched woman, or whatever the hell she said. But kind of funny to leave off on that note. But again, like I said in my last review, now it's kind of like, okay, where do we go from here with that relationship? Is Yami just going to give it up? Is Yami going to, like, how is he going to handle it? Because Yami is, of course, aware of everything that happened, and you can see that he kind of grew more potential feelings for Charlotte, but I don't know if Charlotte's going to remember any of this, and so it's going to kind of be one-sided at the very least, and Charlotte still has that shyness that she kind of puts a mask of like, I'm an asshole to stay away. So I guess their relationship is going to take some work, but it was nice again to even get a wrap up with that. It felt like Tabata just wanted to hit every nail on the head. It's like, okay, this one, that one, that one, everything was addressed. I mean, even down to, again, Licht and Lumiere. Before Licht was gone, he told Lumiere it was dope to see that the vision we have for the future is slowly coming to fruition. I mean, at the end of the day, we already had them have that reunion moment or whatever, so it didn't feel as powerful as if like this was the first time they really got to talk or whatever. And I'm curious what we're gonna do with Lumiere from here on out. Was he? I think he's still around, right? So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with that. But again, it was just like Tabata hit it all, and a cool little mystery, because we was always wondering, like, okay, so who was the elf inside of YUNO? That was actually Licht's son, which that's one of the things about this arc that leaves, again, a lot of room for the future of Black Clover, because we didn't get what I thought we would get in this arc, the heritage of ASTA and YUNO. There's still a mystery. At best, we know that his mana, YUNO's mana, was similar to Licht's son, but we didn't get any major, bombshells about like, okay, this is that son, or why they arrived at the orphanage together. So there's still a lot of questions with ASTA and YUNO's heritage, where they come from and things like that. So it shows that Black Clover is going to go on for a while. It shows that Yuki Tabata left a lot of things open, because he could have wrapped a lot of things right here if he wanted to. He could have made it that Asta and YUNO is Lumiere's nephews. There's so many different things, but it seems he's going to go a different route with it, because again, as of right now, we still don't know who their parents are, why they were at the orphanage. Are they brothers maybe? Are they fraternal twin brothers? Like, there's a lot of things. And one last thing to add, I really, really hope, because again, it felt a little bit Nagato. Again, it was different. It was getting rid of all the elves and putting them in the tree and all that shit, but I really, really hope that he didn't pull one last trick and he revived Julius. Please, as cool and as much as I love Julius's character, it would really destroy this arc if Julius comes back and that was like a Nagato move, like, oh, I did one final thing and please leave Julius dead. As cool as a character as he is, he serves better for plot progression, for all the characters, for a new Wizard King. There's so many things that they could do. Or, I mean, if they were to bring him back, it would be really, like, I would really be disappointed. But I'll say if they did bring him back, at the very least, let him step down as, his position as Wizard King. Be like, yo, I took an L. I want X, Y, and Z to be the next Wizard King, or, Yami or whatever. So hopefully he doesn't come back, though, because again, that would really ruin it, because it's like, we got a major death in this arc. It's been freaking insane. And honestly, for the final chapter of seemingly, the ramp up of the whole Elves and everything, it was great. It was great. It really didn't leave almost no stone unturned, minus the major plot points, again, of Asta and YUNO's heritage, and of course Asta's devil and things like that. So it set up more mystery for the future, but wrapped up everything we would like to know about Licht and them. So I really can't complain. Honestly, I want to ask you guys, I'm going to pass it off to you real quick. What are your thoughts on this arc as a whole? Is it the strongest arc of Black Clover? Do you think that this arc is really that putting it on the map arc? I mean, once it hits the anime, if they do it right, this will definitely increase its popularity again, because the fights in this arc, you know, the devil, Licht, everything in general, the fact that almost everything was answered about a lot of these characters, it was really nicely done. It was inspired by a lot of things, as I talked throughout the weeks of, like, this, you know, was like from Naruto, this from like Bleach or whatever, but in the end, Tabata did his own thing and still set up for the future. So I can't really complain about this arc. Honestly, I feel this is probably the strongest arc of Black Clover. If I had to add in some critiques, is probably that the arc dragged a bit. I feel as though the devil stuff, like that fight with the devil, could have been probably cut in half, or maybe just cut off like a quarter of it, because it did feel like it dragged out a bit. But other than that, I mean, we answered a lot of questions, and I'm kind of curious, are you disappointed in the fact that Asta and Yuno's heritage still hasn't been resolved, that it wasn't the first Wizard King or Nero, or the first Wizard King's sister, well, seemingly, or Licht? And what are your thoughts on the fact that Licht's son was reincarnated into Yuno? It makes sense why Yuno was able to control, because Licht's son would have been, what, like an unborn baby or something like that, or I don't remember if the kids were born or not, but so it kind of makes sense. It still could lead, and maybe in the future we'll see a return of the Elves of some sort, which I don't know how I'd feel about that, but it still could lead that maybe Yuno is the reincarnation of his son in general. So I'm looking forward to seeing how all of this is handled in the future. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the future of Black Clover. We still got, again, Asta's devil that was introduced last chapter, so that's something to look forward to. Asta and Yuno's true heritage, and a lot of things. Is Julius going to return? How would you feel? Honestly, I'm gonna rant. If Julius comes back, it'll ruin a lot of the narrative, and I'm gonna rant, because I just keep him that way. That was a big move for Black Clover. It was risky, but I think it paid off, and it helped to propel this arc into a dangerous situation. You know, any story, when you have the new villain take out one of the top contenders, or like the top heroes, it introduces a major thing called a level of threat, and that was definitely what made the Elves feel threatening. The fact that, you know, William Vengeance in cahoots with Patri was able to take down Julius. And your thoughts and expectations of future Black Clover? I'm not gonna lie, really dug this. Black Clover just 180 from where we started to where we're at now. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Please hit the bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm Finette World, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Can't forget the music though. Hold on, let me play y'all a little something.
Paper rules, if you heard it, best believe that. For now it's whatever. One day I'll be your favorite for never. No matter how you move.